There is an idea in history and in today that you might subscribe to, that most people throughout history have in fact subscribed to this particular idea. It is the idea that certain people who are born in a certain place are simply built with an innate toughness and innate hardship that other societies around them do not have. It is something in their genes, in their bones, that they are born with, that they are built with due to the fact of how they grew up or where they grew up. And some examples you're definitely going to know. Spartans, for example. The people from Mongolia, for example. These are, of course, historic examples. The Romans always thought as the Gauls and the Celts as these innately tough people that we need to be organized because those people are supremely tough. The Vikings. Now, in today's examples, you hear this talked a lot about Dagestanis, of course, or people who are Russian comes up quite a bit as people who are just innately tough, people who have supreme toughness. Now, if you are the kind of person who subscribes to this kind of idea, then you must believe that Georgians and Merab Dvalishvili is born with an innate strength, hardship, and toughness. If hard times creates hard people, then Georgia is punching well above its weight. And now, if you look at sports, Georgia produces some incredible people, and per capita, they are making amazing athletes, whether you're looking at wrestling or judo or combat sambo or weightlifting or MMA or even boxing. This country, which is like smaller than, it's like the size of Philadelphia. It's like the size of half of New York, you know? They are producing well above their level. And if hard times, like I said, create hard people, they have been going through hard times for quite a while. It's a crossroads nation, southern Russia. It's on the Black Sea, and it's been at war and among different empires. The Romans were there. The Persians were there. The Mongolians were there. Byzantium was there. The Soviet Union, of course, was there. Everybody has been over this country, and they have fought for their own independence, actually fairly recently, by the way. So if hard times create hard people, Georgia has been going through it for quite some time now. And the country itself is a hard country. It's a mountainous region. Merab Dvalishvili grew up in the nation of Georgia. And along the way, he participated in all the different martial arts that he could. Combat sambo and the other variances that happen in Georgia that are wrestling based. When he was 21 years old, he followed his dream of being an MMA fighter, went overseas, started training with the Sarah Longo camp, and really began cutting his teeth. And he lives up to those kind of natural, innate ideas of a person who is supremely strong. Because whenever he comes up in conversation, people talk about his relentless wrestling and this impossible cardio that this man has over 5 rounds. He seems to get stronger over 5 rounds. Over 3 rounds, he's beating Olympians. The Machine is such an apt nickname for this man. And earlier last week, we were talking to Vince Morales, who trains with Merab Dvalishvili. And I was asking him, like, what's it like in the training room with that guy? Is there a secret to what he does? And he said in the training room, he is 100% all the time. What you see in the ring is exactly what you get in the training room, but he's doing it 12 hours a day. This man is absolutely nonstop. He drowns people in the training room, and he drowns people in the octagon. Now, at UFC 306, at the Sphere, in Las Vegas, he gets his shot at UFC Gold, and he's going to be fighting one of the golden boys of the promotion who has really risen to an impressive level of fame, who's getting the hard sell, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean O'Malley is the other side of MMA, where he's kind of looking at the influencer angle, influencer boxing, how to leverage talking crap, how to leverage the flashy look to really get to a nice level of fame. And I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. They're just different approaches. You have and he is a tireless worker in the gym. He is a non-stop work machine. He's got some incredible precision and power in his punches. I was never a huge fan of the hype train of Sugar Sean O'Malley. He was a really good fighter. I'll give him that. It wasn't until he beat Petr Yan. And it was a close fight. And, if you scored it for Petr Yan, that's fine. But it was a great fight. And he showed toughness. He showed strength that I didn't believe that he had. He showed wherewithal even when he was getting hit, and that was really impressive because I have massive respect for Petr Yan. I hold a win over Petr Yan absolutely incredible. That is among the best level. After that, he was able to overcome the wrestling of Aljamain Sterling. And Aljamain Sterling, again, I hold him in extremely high regards. That was a really impressive victory on his part. He's fading away. He's constantly against the cage. He is circling very well, and he's evasive where Aljamain Sterling really couldn't get anything going without taking a massive risk, without forcing it, and that's what happened. And then, of course, he had the amazing, outclass, avenging a loss fight to Marlon Chito Vera. This was not a close fight at all. He was outlanding him like 10-1, hard punches, hard kicks, hard knees to the head. I mean, Sean O'Malley said, I've never kneed someone that hard. I've never felt anything like that. The sound made me want to be sick. I don't know how Chito stayed standing. The man is just made of steel, but it doesn't matter if you're made of steel and you stay standing for 5 rounds, you weren't winning. I mean, Sean O'Malley beat him post to post, bell to bell. It was not a close fight there. Sean O'Malley is, that was maybe the best performance of his career without getting a knockout. And Sean O'Malley's, he's got the striking abilities that you wish that you had, right? He's got the really impressive pull counters. He is always switching stance from southpaw to orthodox. He understands distance management extremely well, circling to the outside, keeping his back off the cage. There is a lot to love in the striking of Sugar Sean O'Malley, and he is so good, and he is such an impressive fighter, but we haven't seen him be put on his back very often. And that is largely due to the fact that very good strikers will counter takedowns just by how they're standing, just by how they're moving. Think of Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor in that they're not always sprawling and brawling like a Chuck Liddell was forced to do. More often than not, just in how they're standing and just in how they're moving, the opening for a takedown are harder to hit. The openings for takedowns are not there. They have their hips way back, they have their rear leg way back, and they're never they never have their back against the cage. And that is very good counter wrestling. So let's say, what if Merab Dvalishvili is forced to stay standing and can't get a takedown? Well, he probably gets knocked out. Because his Merab is, I really respect Merab. I think he's an incredible fighter, but his striking is like Khabib versus Gleason Tebow. You know, that kind of level where he's just throwing the overhands. He's throwing the punches, trying to force a takedown, you know, throwing the massive overhand to ducking into takedown kind of thing. And that's fine. It works because you're usually transitioning into a clinch or a takedown. And that is absolutely fine. And it works against very good strikers because of the threat of the takedown. But one tool that Merab Dvalishvili has is his low kick, is his calf kick. He landed it to the shin of Petr Yan. Now, Petr Yan is a veteran of Muay Thai and kickboxing and MMA. Tough as nails, right? One of those innate tough people from Russia, from Siberia. Kicked him in the shin, and Petr Yan starts limping. Now think of what are the big weaknesses that we've seen in the career of Sugar Sean O'Malley. It is against low kicks. Twice in his career, he has struggled against low calf kicks. Is there an opportunity for Merab? Absolutely. There's something there. But let's break down the fight a little bit deeper. Let's take a closer look at some of this stuff. When Merab fought Henry Cejudo. You know, I hold Henry Cejudo, of course, in highest regard. He's an Olympic gold medalist. I'm not sure if you knew about that. Triple C, as he he never talks about it. And then 2 championships in the UFC. Extremely amazing fighter. Like, he overcame Demetrious Johnson tactically, and he beat so many people. And he's just such an impressive fighter. I think if you look at the opponents that he's beat, he holds the record for beating the most UFC title defenses, mainly, and most of that is, you know, Dominic Cruz, Demetrious Johnson, TJ, you know, that right there, that's a record. And he was beating Merab Dvalishvili, and what Merab was able to do, he was able to beat him on cardio, but he was also able to adjust his game plan when it wasn't working. The first round wasn't working for him. He was getting hit and he was getting a little bit out wrestled, but he really couldn't apply his game plan. Second and third round, it was a different fight. It was, the momentum had not only shifted, but it was now a dominant fight for Merab Dvalishvili and one of his most impressive victories to date. And I mean, Cejudo cracked him a couple of times with a tight right hook in the first round and in the second round. Cejudo was constantly getting back to his feet without issue. What Cejudo was doing in this fight to avoid takedowns was having his back never against the cage, because that's where you really get taken down a lot. But the thing is, Merab at range is really good. And you can see this in his takedowns, where if he gets an ankle, he's going for a trip. Or if he gets an ankle, he's going to advance to a single and then try to take the back. And same with when he's punching, he's going to a single and trying to get on the back. It's always the chaining of different wrestling techniques that he really shows incredible strength in, that he is able to start from one technique and land on the third technique if you counter the first one. It's a very impressive skill to have, and he's incredible at that. But he has a whole litany of different takedowns and attacks from different positions. So if you, again, counter the first takedown, no problem there. He's going to the next one. He's going to the next one. He's going to the next one. And that is why people like Petr Yan were able to get taken down and then get back up and just get taken down all over again. And Henry Cejudo defended the first takedown just to get taken down from something else. But where he really does excel is going to the back. And when he gets the grip on someone's back, that grip is not changing. That grip is not breaking. He is so impressive at holding the back, locking in like that. Whether he's picking up and slamming, whether he's throwing them in the air, whether he's doing a trip, this man is just a machine. And it's tireless. Going for takedowns might be the most exhausting single move that you can do in MMA. And he was facing people who were constantly defending those takedowns and then just going for it again and again and again. He holds the record for most attempts for a takedown in UFC history in a single fight. And I think for overall takedowns landed among active fighters, he holds the record for most takedowns in a UFC career. For all time, he was behind Georges St-Pierre. So that's a pretty high regard to be in. Just absolutely amazing. And I think the reason that Merab has come across so well with fans, he actually is quite a popular fighter. It's largely because he's very genuine. You know, he does those silly skits. He barely speaks English, but you know he's quite funny. And he's always dancing. He's in Mexican sombreros, dancing and drinking tequila. He's doing traditional Georgian dancing. He's doing different skits with girls. And again, his English isn't great, but you can just tell that that's him. He's kind of a silly guy. He's kind of a funny guy. And in the octagon, it looks like he's having a really good time in there. When he's going for takedowns and he's really in a scramble, you can see that there's a moment that he overcomes and he's smiling. People love it. And the images of him slamming Henry Cejudo or slamming Petr Yan, those are the advertising picks for this man's career. So let's talk a little bit about Sean O'Malley a little bit more here. Always gets his head off the center line when he is striking. And that is, I mean, a lot of fighters at the highest level of MMA don't do a very basic thing like that. Obviously, we always talk about the ball counter, but it works so well. He always has the lead hand out, trying to control his opponent's lead hand. Sometimes he's southpaw, sometimes he's orthodox. By and large, he is a southpaw striker. Incredible straight left. Always using front kicks to try to control his opponent's range. And again, those hurt quite a bit. He is precise. He has great timing. He's always jabbing to set everything up, and then he's using the jab feint to set up more things. And he always does well off the cages as well. But I think overall, the game plan for Sugar Sean O'Malley has to be keep your back off the cage, stay in the center, and keep constant lateral movement. Make your opponent miss. I think for Merab, he needs to get into striking range. Now, a few times against Petr Yan and a few times against Henry Cejudo, he was able to duck under a jab or duck under a hook and get a body lock. And he's going to need to trigger Sugar Sean O'Malley to do almost that exact thing. And that way he can duck under, get a body lock, get a hook going, get a body lock, and then transition to the next takedown. But of course, that is baiting a potential knockout punch, especially when you have someone who's so good at feinting as Sean O'Malley. You're not sure which the real punch is. And if you're dashing in for a body lock, you might just dash into a right hand, dash into an elbow, dash into a knee. But the game plan for him is going to be, he's going to need to get Sean O'Malley striking so he can get under. I think he needs to get Sean O'Malley committed to striking so he can duck under those strikes, get a body lock, and get his game plan off. Over 5 rounds, you have to think that there must be a moment for Sugar Sean O'Malley, the sniper, the southpaw sniper with a great pull counter. There must be a moment for him to land that knockout punch. And I fully understand that. But I can't. My prediction is going to be Merab Dvalishvili getting a unanimous decision win. I think, that punch is definitely a threat. It's definitely there. I fully understand. I'm envisioning it. I can see that pull counter happening as he ducks in for a takedown. I fully get it. However, I statistically, I think this is Merab's fight. I think this is just Merab Dvalishvili. He is going to be the next UFC Bantamweight champion, and he's going to look good doing it. And I love the Bantamweight division. I think one of my first articles when I got into MMA writing back in 2021 was talking about how good the Bantamweight division is, because back then we had like Petr Yan and Henry Cejudo and all these other guys going on at the same time. Since that time, we have a division with like Omar Nurmagomedov, Merab Dvalishvili, Corey Sandhagen, Davison Figueiredo is in it now. You still have Henry Cejudo, Marlon Chito Vera there. Song Yadong keeps getting better. Rob Font is really good. Jose Aldo is still there. I'm not taking him super seriously, but Kyler Phillips keeps getting better. Just an incredible, incredible division. And it's the division where you're probably just going to get 2 title defenses and then lose it because of how good everyone else is. Because a lot of these wins were that close. Like, you got to think of a guy like Corey Sandhagen and Petr Yan are just trading split decision wins and losses against the top level competition in this weight class. So if you are looking to be an all-time great, this is a really good division to try to make your case in. It's like how we talk about with someone like Georges St-Pierre. At welterweight, he doesn't have more title defenses than anyone else. He has like the 3rd most or something like that. Or even 4th most title defenses than anybody else. But it was the reason that he's considered such an all-time great is because of how good the welterweight division was when he was competing in it. And right now we're seeing that in bantamweight. And same thing at lightweight. When Khabib Nurmagomedov took over that lightweight title, it was a matter of how good that lightweight division was said quite a bit. Bantamweight is that division now. I have tremendous respect for everybody in the top 10 of bantamweight, and especially I hold the champion in extremely high regard for holding that title because it is such a good division. It is such a high level. That is the MMA fighters division right there. It's just tremendous, tremendous stuff. So I'm so excited and looking forward to UFC 306 main event at the Sphere. Cannot wait for it. Opposite Canelo fight. Oh, just cannot wait. Let's take a look at the rest of the UFC 306 card. Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko will fight for the 3rd time. First fight was a submission win for Alexa Grasso, and second fight was scored a draw. It's hard not to pick with Alexa Grasso because over their fights, she has just looked a little bit better. And she also has youth on her side, whereas Valentina Shevchenko, of course, is an incredible fighter and has a legion of weird fans. And cool, great, awesome. But youth certainly is not on her side. And I think tactically, she's not saying the right things that I love to hear. Whereas in an interview, for example, she said, my game plan in the second fight was perfect. No one could beat me in that second fight. Well, you got to draw in the second fight. Like, rather than blaming the judges, I would love to hear her say, yes, tactically, I see where I went wrong. And now we're adjusting those things in the training room. But she's not. She's saying like, no, I was perfect. It was the judge's fault. So I think Alexa Grasso is just going to be making a few more adjustments in the fight, as we've seen her do in the past. The game plan really well from the camp that she has. Youth is on her side. And look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. But I am leaning towards Alexa Grasso. Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. Absolute banger right there. I like Diego Lopez. Action fighter. Cool hair. He's got a mullet and the emo haircut. He's a super cool guy. Love his jiu-jitsu work. Brian Ortega, I think, has been a little bit overrated because, I think overrated in the exact sense of the term, in that his wins have put him too high on a pedestal for how good he actually is. But I think this is going to be a coming out party for Diego Lopez personally. And the betting line has also shown that as well. I'm not the only person to think that. Ignacio Bahamundes will take on Manuel Torres. That's going to be a banger and a half right there. You have Irene Aldana taking on Norma Dumont. Banger and a half right there. Ronaldo Rodriguez taking on Ode Osborne. Great fight right there. And then kicking off the main card, you're going to have Raul Rosas Jr. against Aori Kileng. I mean, that's got to be a win for Raul Rosas Jr. I think the UFC has a very good idea of what they're doing when it comes to making pairings for Raul Rosas Jr. Just a few days ago, we had Demetrious Johnson, all-time great, stand in the middle of the one championship circle and say that he is retiring from MMA, loves jiu-jitsu, just wants to do that. I mean, this guy set the record for all-time title defenses in the UFC. He did the flying whiz bar, the flying mighty whiz bar, which was absolutely amazing. And he beat some of the best people ever. Like his knockout win over Henry Cejudo or Kyoji Horiguchi and all these kinds of people. Absolutely amazing stuff. And then he went to one championship, got a loss after winning a Grand Prix, avenged the loss later on, had a fun little fight with Rod Tang and all that stuff. But yeah, he leaves behind an absolutely incredible legacy for being an all-time great in MMA. He's quite literally a gamer. Like, he was playing Elden Ring 2 years ago. I'm sure he's going to be playing Space Marine in the next few days here. The guy's always busy playing Valorant and Call of Duty and all this stuff. So MMA may not be his biggest legacy, but absolutely awesome stuff. I know he was working with Henry Cejudo over the last couple of years to fill in some gaps and just train with one another. Really cool, really interesting guy, and just an absolute all-around badass, all-time great. But yeah, absolute dap to the old Demetrious Johnson, the Mighty Mouse himself, one of the coolest guys in MMA history. What's next for him? Well, the guy, he says, pay me this much and I'll show up. So we'll see what he does next. But he did say he is actively retired and just going to do some jiu-jitsu, and maybe he is. Maybe he gets a big offer from an MMA promotion and comes back, as the UFC is wont to do sometimes. That's about it for this week. But just in a few minutes, we're going to have a couple of interviews with a few gentlemen who are fighting in PFL MENA. And these are some really cool talks that we had with them. One gentleman, we're talking about the growth of sports and MMA in Egypt and what he's looking to build in Egypt there. Like, he has a gym and he feels like he's fighting for his country and trying to put MMA on the map in his nation. And we talk about the growth of MMA in Egypt. And the other gentleman that I interviewed was also fighting at PFL MENA. He's Algerian French. So we talk about Albert Camus and some of the theories that this gentleman had, and if he respects Albert Camus and how people feel about him nowadays. But yeah, he's also a mathematician, PhD, like just a super interesting set of people to have a conversation with. So those interviews are just coming up in a minute, folks. But my name is Tim Wheaton with Fight Weekly. And folks, I massively appreciate your time. This has been Fight Weekly, brought to you by LowKick MMA. And folks, if you want to talk some kickboxing, I will see you on Wednesday on the other channel, Cav Kick Sports. But folks, my name is Tim Wheaton. Thank you so much for your time. Stay tuned for the interviews. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.
Wait. So where are you joining me from? Are you like in a cafe right now?
No, I'm at the spa actually, cutting the weight.
You're at the spa. Oh yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. You're not just getting massages. You're actually like cutting weight right now.
I'm actually jumping in the ice bath, jump in the sauna, get in the pool a little bit.
Hey, no, you're one of the co-founders of Fitbox Egypt. Can you tell me a little bit more about the Fitbox?
Fitbox is one of the oldest and biggest martial arts gym in Cairo. It's been there for 10 years. I was previously a founder of Bar Brothers Egypt and Alpha. They were the biggest two calisthenics gym back home. And then when I started just getting more into fighting, I thought maybe I should just put all my focus onto something that's fighting related. Yeah. And then the owner of the gym, I used to be one of the athletes at the gym when it started. So I just thought that maybe I should jump on board. The owner kind of wanted to be like, I want to sell it. This, I'm like, no. Just let me come partner up with you. And I switched things all up in 2 years. And it's a good base for me right now to, grow the sport in Egypt while I'm building my name abroad.
Man, absolutely. Yeah. And the sport of MMA has grown exponentially in Egypt over the past 10 years. And now there's more. It's not just Brave or UAE Warriors. There's now the PFL and others in there. Talk a little bit about like how you see the future of MMA in Egypt.
I see that there's a lot of people that are putting high benchmarks right now. I think I'm one of the major ones that has actually restructured the sport back home, because the background that I came from was very academic. I came from a very good family, and then everyone just looked at it like this sport is for everyone. You don't have to, come from the gutters and just have a very rigid lifestyle and all that. So people just started believing that, oh, if it's not hard for those that have had it a little bit easier than others, it can happen for a lot of others. And just, you can be educated. I have a bachelor's degree and I'm a full-time fighter. So I think that right now a lot there's it's massive right now, but I think that there's a lot of how you say, a lot of gap in the market of the education of how things should be done, how to train, all of that. So this is what I will be trying as much as I can to deliver through Fitbox. But as masses and as like numbers, and it's booming like crazy. It's booming like crazy, like crazy. Like we
And
have back home like at least 20 promotions. 20 promotions. Yeah. And there's like every other day a promotion comes up. If you look at like the kickboxing
yeah.
national tournament, for instance, it happens over 2 days and there's like 800 fights. Fights? Yeah, can you imagine? And that's just like kids. So
Yeah.
it's really growing very, very big, very big.
Well, and it's got tough competition because in Egypt, there is really impressive wrestling and judo already happening in Egypt. So there's actually quite a bit of competition. Do you think that contributes that people will like MMA more, or do you think maybe people are just so committed to judo and wrestling that they don't want to look at it?
There's a lot of people that are transitioning now, but like I told you,
Yeah.
we need more high profile calibers to be able to guide these people onto how to transition.
Right.
That's the only gap. Like transition, we have very strong base of boxing,
Yeah.
Greco-Roman wrestling, judo. Like we have a lot of and we've got a lot of Olympians, gold medalists in boxing in all these sports. So
Hmm.
I just think when there's gonna be right people that are honest and that really care about the sport and changing it not for their own benefit, I
Hmm.
think that step by step things are going to change definitely because they have already started changing a lot. And like I
Hmm.
told you, like I've been traveling, investing in myself as an athlete, and then a lot of Egyptians have been seeing this and they've been coming also joining me here in Bali without me
Yep.
even like saying anything. Most of them just like show up. We've got an Egyptian fighter. He's fighting, Bellator now as part of PFL. So
Hmm.
we've got Islam Siaha. He's fighting in the card in London in a couple of days, and he's Egyptian, and he was camping with us here in Bali. So I
Yeah.
think we had the national Egyptian wrestling coach. I brought him over here. Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to as much as I can educate the people, because we're only good if we help each other. You know what I mean? I didn't get the help in the sport that I kind of needed, but to me, one way or another, I was gonna find my way and make it. So it's not like I'm gonna wait for someone to tell me how to do it.
Man, okay, so I'm looking at I was trying to find traditional foods. I'm looking at the kushari right now. I can't imagine how hard it is to do
I,
weight
I
cutting in
wanna, I wanna,
Egypt.
I actually wanna open a koshari shop here in Bali. This is one of my goals. I'm
No
serious.
way! Tell me
It's
everything.
vegan, it's vegan friendly, and you know
Yep.
what I mean. Like everyone can eat it if you're vegetarian, if you don't eat meat, and it's very yummy, but it's very fattening as well.
Yeah. Okay. So you have a welterweight semifinal fight coming up here on September 20th. PFL MENA 3. This is absolutely huge. What is your prediction for the match here?
So I think I'm very capable of knocking anyone out. It's just a matter of time until I find and pick the right shots. Like I said it in many of my interviews before, one thing that I don't see a lot of people have, I break fighters emotionally. It's not just skill set. I have this kind of aura where I come in like I'm very confident. I'm very like I'm just by nature I'm very confident of what I want and who I am. This is why I jumped from like I was a very successful calisthenics coach and I had a calisthenics career where I could compete in street lifting and all that. And then I just decided to shift all of this and shut down the business after I've been running it for 7 years. I still went for my bachelor's degree, which took me 8 years to finish instead of 4. And then I decided to leave everything back home and just travel to Bali, even if I didn't have money or it was just, you know what I mean? So I just feel that I'm very confident in all the steps that I take in my life. that I'm also very confident, and I've seen it. The way that I break my opponents, they they just become silent, just like my last fight. Even though my last fight didn't go the way that I wanted to, and I was very close to a finish, and I think the fight should have been stopped. But if it was not for that two low blow shots that I took early in the first round, I would have been much more focused, much more laser focused, and I would find that, you know, that I don't call it a strong punch. I call it the right punch. But for me to find my right punch or my right knee or my right liver shot, I need to be zoned in. But when you get low blow twice, so you kind of zone out like involuntarily. You know what I mean? Like I'm human, so and that guy kicks really hard. Like
Oh yeah.
my last fight, my coach told me, he's like, don't low kick this guy. He's got shins of steel. And when he kicked me, I just, like in Mortal Kombat when they do that finish, and then I just felt like my it went through, my hip into my spine. I was just like, oh, that guy's shin bones are no joke.
Oh,
But I'm a dog. I'm a dog, and I kept fighting to the very last second. I don't care. People can say whatever they want to say. I'm always criticized. I'm always judged, and it's because I'm always showing people the gap that they have in their life and what I'm achieving and what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna keep on doing it again and again. And if I lose, God forbid, whatever happens for any reason, I'm gonna come back up, dust it off, and just keep on doing it until I become one of the big names in the sport, not just nationally but internationally as well. I believe it, I see it, because I was never meant to be in this position today with the way that I grew up and how I was raised and everything that I've been through as a kid. So I believe it so much that God's plan is not a coincidence at any time.
man, absolutely, absolutely. So you got the semifinals coming up here, and then you're already visualizing yourself in the finals. You're saying like this is part of the process. All roads have led to the
Yeah.
PFL finals here. Like, what does that mean for you that you're going to get that PFL trophy later this
I
year?
feel that this is my time, like this is my opportunity, and this is where I need to shine the brightest, and this is where I earn what I deserve, because I decided 2 years ago to leave everything behind my back, everything that was making me much more money, everything that was giving me a stable and very, very secure life, and just go all into the sport. Eat, train, sleep, pray, repeat, recover. Eat, sleep, pray, train, repeat, recover. Every single day for the last 24 months. I know for a fact some of them might be more talented than me, some of them might be more skillful than me, some of them might be more experienced than me, but none of them are working as smart as me for sure. 100%. I know this. I know this. Trust me. I'm leaving no stone unturned.
That's absolutely
I'm,
right. And
I'm walking around with my Whoop tracker, tracking everything, my strength and conditioning, everything. Everything is just like calculated. Nothing is just random anymore. We don't wake up in the morning and guess how the week is gonna go. And like I said in my last interview today, I said it. My fight is the weight cut. I'm a big welterweight. This is my fight.
yeah,
This is my fight. When I win that fight, I know everything that's coming next is supposed to happen and is destined to happen. So I'm never mad because I know very well that I've done my part. Very well.
I love to hear it. Now, similar to you, you went from professional boxing to MMA. Similar to you, you have people like Jake Paul looking to do the same thing. What advice would you pass on to Jake Paul, and do you think he can actually do it?
I would tell Jake Paul, just wait a little bit because I want to punch you in a boxing ring.
Yeah. Dude, shoot your shot. He's
Yeah.
in the PFL. You can
He-
box in a
he-
PFL
yeah,
smart cage.
this guy don't know how to box. Trust me, this guy don't know how to box. But yeah, like I mean, he's a bit. I like him as a person. I like what he's been doing to Uncle Dana lately, because someone gotta teach some people a lesson who don't give fighters what they deserve. To say this, I mean, this is one of the major reasons why when I went on my 4-5 win streak and I thought about it, I'm like, I need to think what's best for me. And what's best for me is going to a promotion like PFL where I can build myself and financially have the security that I feel like I need. Because maybe there might be other promotions that might be a little bit globally more popular or older, but they don't give fighters the incentives that they deserve. And I know a lot of people in so many different promotions that it's crazy when you hear these stories. Like everyone thinks like these guys get, trillions and trillions, but it's not like that. It's not like that. And PFL is very fresh. They would let you box if you want to box. They would. It's not. They don't want to control. You see some people in the PFL Europe tournament. They lose their second fight. Even the MENA tournament, and PFL lets them go have a fight in a different promotion just to keep them active. They're not, like try to control you as a fighter, and that's what all fighting is about. It's about respecting the fighter because we're the ones that put our lives on the line, and you only need people to understand that because we'll end up just giving you better and better shows. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I feel like fighting also can be so like influential for people at home because like look at all the influence that someone like Habib or a Badr Hari was able to do, and I feel like the PFL really does understand that by enriching fighters, they themselves will become extremely influential within their spheres, and I feel like that's the kind of path that you're looking to be on, right?
Yeah, the PFL is already a benchmark for a lot of Egyptian fighters already, and it's only
Mhm.
on the second event or third event, PFL MENA 3. Like
Mhm.
everyone, if you go to any any fighter back home is building up himself from the hundreds and thousands that are training now in underground gyms and big gyms, all of that, and tell them, what's your goal now? Be like, I want to be in the PFL MENA tournament. And
Nice.
if I get that title, definitely that's going to be a benchmark for all of these people moving forward. I'll be the first Egyptian to get a PFL MENA title or a PFL world title. And I'm telling you, it's doable. So the other two in the other bracket,
Yep.
Al Aqra and Badr Diani, both of them. One of them I fought. He beat me in a 3 round, boring fight, which is lay and pray, but none of that anymore. My style
Mhm.
has changed 100%. And then Badr Diani is the guy that I studied because I was gonna fight him, but I ended up fighting a guy that has went with him for 10 rounds and two title fights, and I knocked out that guy cold in 2 minutes. So I just feel that my final is Jarrah. This is my final, and all I gotta do is just come back on this island, do what I've been doing for the last 2 years, and give it the last push, and then earn my rest for a couple of months, go back home, check on my business, do all of that, and then just see what's up for me for next year.
Man, it's going to be a big. This is your year, 2024. Last word goes to you, sir. You're fighting upcoming here, semifinalist, welterweight, September 20th, PFL MENA 3. Omar, you talk us on out of here, sir.
Um, so to me, like I said, the the emotions that I have right now, just being in PFL and qualifying to the semifinals, it's it's an indicator that I will be in the final because every single fight that I fought in the last couple of fights, everyone said I was not gonna win, I was not gonna win, I was not gonna win, and now to me, just it's how you say it's a validation for me that winning all these fights is telling me you are in the final, you are in the final, and and all I gotta do is just push myself in the final because I know I'll be mentally tested the same way I was mentally tested in my first fight, and I got hit really hard under the belt, and I still stuck through and I kept my composure and I won that fight. And I got 30-26, 30-25. When I saw the scorecard, I'm like, damn, 30-25 is not a number you see in MMA very often.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often. So I think very well that my breakthrough fight is Jarrah. I knock out this Arabian superstar. I'm in the list of the GOAT of the Arabian. And then we want to go to the world tournament after that, and we'll see what happens.
Man, you got this. Best of luck in the match, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Dr. Souhil Tairi, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you so much. How are you?
Man, you know me, hanging out, doing the job. Wait, but you got a PhD in applied mathematics, is that right?
Yeah. It's completely right. Yeah.
Okay, tell me more. How did you get into studying this? How long did it take? When did you graduate?
Graduate. I got me my PhD in 2019, so it's like 5 years now.
Yep.
Yeah, and everybody keep asking me this question, and the response is simple. I started my fighting journey in the same time as I started my studying journey. It was in 2010. Uh, uh, in the beginning, I was just I wanted to quit smoking cigarette and to have a better shape. I never did combat sport or no sport before, so
Just to quit
my
smoking.
main goal. Yeah, my main goal was just stop smoking and try to have some abs or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I get that.
very basic objectives in the beginning, and also in the study part. I wasn't the most intelligent uh, um, uh, schooler back in high school or university. I was just
Hmm.
wanting to do mathematics because I have a very good professor when I was in high school, and he gave me this, like, the taste of mathematics. So I keep in this era, and like I said, I just start the both journey at the same time, and everybody keep telling me that it's too late to do combat sports. It's too late to do boxing. You have to focus on your studying. You have to do this and do that. And even in the boxing world, when I went to gym, the coach keeps saying me, no, you are just a scholar. You are just good to study in. No need to do so much effort in boxing. You want to go any further. So yeah, all these talks, all this non motivation coming from my environment,
Yeah,
just keep pushing me, and I wanted to keep this small flames intact. I don't want I did not want people to come and kill my flames. So I just try to keep pushing, well, with no goals except being better version of myself. And also the main goals was just to prove myself and proving them that it's possible to do both. It's possible to be an athlete and at the same time pushing the studies at the highest level. So I think I give myself this response. Yes, it's possible. You have to put some hard work, and also you have to believe in what you are doing, and just keep showing up. Never let you down. Just show up, even if it's bad days. Just keep showing up at the gym. Keep going to school, even if I failed many exams, even if I lost many fights. But I just keep showing up, no matter what. And alhamdulillah, now I'm PFL. So I'm at PFL, and I got my PhD, and I have a job. So yeah, thanks
well,
God.
yeah,
I just, yeah,
well, yeah, yeah. The pursuit of life is to make one better and enrich one's own life, whether it be through education, whether it be in the gym. But I feel like you're on that path. And Vladimir Klitschko had talked about it as well, because he also, after his boxing career, went back to school and got a degree,
yeah,
and now he's an instructor. But it's just about life, that you're never too old to stop growing, whether it's education, whether
exactly.
it's the gym. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Exactly. This is exactly what I try to tell all the people. You don't have to fix your a limit to yourself. Last someone that I really motivates me more.
Mhm.
It's Glover Teixeira. He took
Yeah,
the UFC light heavyweight belt at the age of what, 42.
yeah,
It's
like
just
that. Yeah.
it's just amazing. So yeah, people, keep telling, yeah, if you don't start a combat sport at the age of 9, you won't go any further. You won't compete at the highest level. It's too late to start the sport. It's too late to do this. It's too late to do that. It's too late to go back to school. It's too late to go back to this. Hey guys, everybody is in his own path. So don't try to do like everybody else. Don't try to be in the average things, and all of that. I think this kind of reflection, this kind of mindset uh,
Mhm.
is is slowing down, or is completely destroying people. So yeah, I'm trying in my way of life. I'm trying through this kind of media, through you guys, and through my stories. I'm trying to motivate guys around me. I'm trying to motivate my environment, just to tell them to keep pushing up, and just to listen to themselves. If they have some goals, if they have
Mhm.
some some projects or something like that, they have to believe and work in that project. And maybe it will give some results, maybe not, but it will benefit in one way or in another way. It will always benefit. So you have to really believe in that thing and keep pushing up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think what you found as well, but what I've certainly found in my work and studies and stuff like that is that I was a terrible student. Like I was a dropout at one point and went back to school later on as an older man. It got easier as I was older because I don't know, I was just a better student. Focusing was easier, studying was easier. Do you find that as well?
I think it's it might be a good idea that we push people through studying later in their life, because you gain in maturity. You become a real person. You have a better reflection. You have a better understanding of what surrounds you, and the most important thing is that um, you have a better sense of the important things.
Mm.
Something that we can't have when you are in the high school or when you are young. You are in the school learning some mathematics, and asking yourself, well, what can do what can I do with this thing? And I mean, what can I do with this formula? What can I do with the story of geography or something like that? But later on, when we grew up and we face some situation, we have a better sense of what is important or not. So yeah, I think it might be a good idea to push older people to go back studying.
Oh, I agree with you entirely. Now, let me ask you, as a French and an Algerian athlete, where do you
Yeah,
land on one of my favorite philosophers, Albert Camus? Now, I like
yeah,
him, but people from Algeria hate him, but people from France kind of like him. Where do you land on
yeah.
him?
I love Albert Camus.
All
I
right.
love Albert Camus. I like the way he's writing, the style of writing, and also I like what he said about Algeria, because he lived in Algeria so for a long time.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's one of a good writer here in France, and yeah, people in Algeria does not like him because he's like we said, the pied noir, a black feet.
Wait, so
So
what does
that's
that
why.
mean? What does that kind of mean? Because they were having a rebellion at the time, and he was like, I forget where he landed on it.
He was born in Algeria. He lived in
Yeah.
Algeria, and then when times became tougher, he went back to France, and yeah, I think that's why Algerian people do not like him. But you can not like the man, but you have to like what he's writing, and you have to like the philosophy that he brings on the table. So yeah, I think he's still a good man. I think he was a good man.
Well, yeah, and I very much like his work, and as I get older, I feel very like drawn to his work in a weird way of like getting up when I was doing the 9 to 5. Albert Camus was very helpful for me. Of like
Really?
maybe this is the enjoyment. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to enjoy. Maybe it's the everyday grind that I'm supposed to enjoy, or maybe life is meaningless and that's okay. But these are the kind of things that he was talking about, and there's not a right answer to it, right?
And what kind of study do you do?
Well, I mean, this is business back in the day. So it was business for a bit, and then I switched over to finances, and now I do this, which isn't related to my studies even a little bit. But yeah. So okay, let's jump into the fighting here. You're fighting in the semifinals, PFL MENA 3 coming up
Yeah.
here. What does this must feel like the culmination of a lifetime of work, right?
It's exactly this what you're saying. It's like I reached the point that I never thought before I can reach it before. Like I said, I have a very modest project when I start my combat sport journey. I was just willing to have a better shape and to stop smoking cigarette. And I have one dream and one dream only. It was to fight without gears. When I start
Yeah.
boxing, the amateur boxing fight with gears. With
Yep.
your
It's like a helmet. Yeah.
the head protection and big gloves and all kind of that. And they have two category of amateur: the amateur with gears and the amateur without gears. And I told myself, if one day I can fight without gears, that means that I reach a level that can allows me to fight without gears. So that was my dream. And I in boxing I never reached this dream, because back in the days my coach wasn't really believing in me. He thought that I was just a studying a student, and
Mhm.
he was just to see me as a student, not as a fighter. And to be honest, let's go deeper in details in my history. I won the local tournament in boxing back in the days. It was in 2011 or 2012. I don't remember, and was qualified for the national tournaments, and we were supposed like 2 days before we were supposed to go in another town like in Paris. I don't remember exactly, but it was like far from Marseille. And 2 days ago, he called me and told me, yeah, I won't go because you are the only one in the gym that qualify for this tournament, and you're just a student, so just focus on your studies, and we will fight another day. So I keep it here. It was very hard to swallow. This thing was very hard to swallow, and it hurts me at the point that I was asking myself, maybe I'm just a student and I just have to see boxing just for fun and just for letting things go and going to hit some bags and maybe spare time to time, but not as like what I was intended, like doing some amateur career or something like that. So yeah, he wasn't believing in me, and I just keep pushing. Like I said, I just keep training. I just keep showing up, and I was trying every kind of combat sports, and I went from gym to gym until I reached the gym where my current coach were there. It was back in 2015, I guess. Yeah, 2015. I met Jean-Michel Fossard, and Jean-Michel Fossard was the only person that believes in me. That it was the only person that see me like I wanted to be seen, and he gave me this incredible faith in myself, and yeah, he was because of him, because of his help, I made my first MMA pro fighter, and I was pro fight. It was in 2016, and I was like, for me, I reached my dream this day, the day I fought for the first time. I was like in preparing for this fight. I have the professional gloves, and I was like, wow, I did it. I'm here. The things that nobody believes in me, even me. I wasn't like believing in myself, believing one day I will do professional fighting. So I did it, and since this day I'm in benefit in this journey. Like I already paid my debt. Now it was just benefit from this day until now. I'm just living like living my life, living this journey like an MMA fan. When I get up in the cage, when I'm in the scale, when I'm doing all this kind of things, I'm like, wow, I'm doing professional things. I'm like a fan of what I'm doing, and it's amazing because I'm seeing my story like in the third person, in another dimension. So I'm just enjoying. I swear, I'm just enjoying. Like I said, it's incredible, incredible for me. It's like unbelievable for me because I never thought before I could do this and I could reach this level semi-final of PFL MENA. It's like it's really something. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks God, and yeah, I'm really happy and excited about all these things.
It's unreal that you started just trying to say like, I just want to fight without headgear on. And now you're talking about maybe the finals going for $100,000 in PFL
Yeah.
media. That's amazing, man.
It's amazing. Yeah, of course, it's amazing. And that's why, and it helps me in a certain way, to not be as nervous as the other fighter. The last time I fought, I feel my opponent was really nervous because maybe he put himself a lot of pressure in his shoulder or something like that, and also I have. I have other eras in my life. Like I said, I'm a teacher. I have a family. I'm a coaching. So even if all this MMA journey stops now, it's okay. Like I said, I already reached my goals. I already reached my dream. So wherever happens, it will happen. I don't care. I'm here to give 200% of myself. I'm going. I'm going to give all of things, and the result doesn't matter for me because I already have the result. So I'm just enjoying. I'm going like with all my heart, and I know it will benefit me. Like I said, I'm I'm believing in what I'm doing, and I'm working hard for that. And I believe no matter what happen, it will benefit me in one way or another way. It will benefit me.
Man, I love to hear it. And I can't, that's absolutely perfect. September 20th, PFL MENA 3. That's the wrap up right there. Sir, you're going to be fighting. Souhil, I massively appreciate your time. Thank you so much, sir. This was great to speak.
Thank you for the time. Thank you. Thank you so much, bro.
Got this, sir. All right.
You.
Cheers. Thanks so much.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.